Today we're going to be ranking every drawing tablet I've ever used on a tier list, and this is something I think I've done once before a long time ago, but I never actually uploaded it. So I started digital art in 2016, so about 10 years ago. I was 13 at the time, and my first tablet was the Wacom Bamboo CTL 460, I think, and it was not very comfortable or good to use. It was really frustrating, and I was really frustrated with digital when I started trying to learn, and I almost gave up on it. So this is probably like a D tier tablet. It's what got me started, but it doesn't stack up with the tablets of today at all. I want to say, like, I've had like two of these Intuoses, like Intuos Draw, these little Intuos tablets. They're okay, they do the job. They might not be very comfortable to use on a very big screen at all, but I've used them years ago, and these are like probably a B tier. Next up, this is I guess we're kind of going in chronological order, but let's take a step back for a second. I put the DSi on here because technically I did draw on that, but that was way before. That was when I was like a really young kid. So the DSi was really fun, especially as a kid. I think it belongs in like A tier or something just because the nostalgia and stuff like that. And then next up this is the XP Pen Deco 03, and I used this in like 2019. It's just a decent medium sized screenless tablet. It has some shortcut keys on the side and a wheel. The wheel was nice, like a tablet having a wheel is nice. That's one of the things I like about XP Pen. But I would put this like probably in a B. One of the things about this actually is that the edges of the tablet are like sharp. It's not like a smooth rounded edge. So if you're resting your wrist on it or your arm, it's going to be digging into your arm, and that was one of the things that annoyed me the most about this. So that might actually bump it down to like C. Same thing with the Deco Pro Medium. I think that had the same problem, and I still have this tablet actually. It's just sitting around not being used, obviously. But the XP Pen Deco Pro Medium is a little better than the 03, but I'm gonna put it in B. I think here's another like Intuos Draw. It's like the same as this tablet, but I just put them both in here because I think I've owned both of these, so it'll be like right next to it. So next up this is my iPad. This is the first iPad that I got that I drew on. It's the 2017 iPad Pro, and it was it was my daily driver for like 5 years until I upgraded recently a couple years ago, 1.5 years ago, to my upgraded iPad. So this is obviously great. Mine had a few issues, like nowadays it's so slow if I try to go back to it because my new one's so much faster that this is like really slow, and mine had like a weird screen. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this spot that would flash. It's like a flashing spot inside of the screen or something when you tap on a certain area. It's weird, but so iPad is like S tier, and my new iPad I got in like 2024, mid 2024. That's also that's the main thing I use these days. We need to take a step back here. This is the UG HK1560. I got this tablet in like 2018 or something, and it's a 16-inch screen tablet, but it was just pretty terrible, and I remember it just sat on my desk not being used for the longest time, for like a few months, until I finally got rid of it. But this is by far the worst screen tablet I've ever used. This will go in F because I don't even think I used it really at all. It was that bad. I think the screen quality was just bad. The parallax was bad. Just not an enjoyable experience. Now we have the XP Pen Artist 15.6 Pro. Then I've used this a little bit. Haven't used it in a while, but I actually just sold it and got rid of it since I've upgraded. Oh, I forgot to put one on here. Let me fix that. So the XP Pen 15.6 Pro, it's the screen is very nice. It's a good quality 1080p laminated display. The colors are nice. The build, it's a nice design. I like the wheel and the buttons. It's all very nicely designed, but this tablet had a high initial activation force, so that was the biggest issue, that it just didn't pick up really light strokes. You have to actually like press, you have to apply pressure to get it to register a line. Made it kind of annoying to use. But one thing I did find out is that the pen from the Deco Pro works with the Artist 15.6 Pro, and this pen actually had a better initial activation force. So I was using this tablet with the pen from this tablet for a while, and that made it better, but it's still not perfect. So the initial activation force easily puts this down in like C, because it's not my favorite to use compared to something like Wacom. Wacom is just the best at picking up those light strokes, but I haven't used like XP Pen or Huions from the past like couple years, like the newer ones, so I can't really speak to that. The next screen tab we'll talk about is the Huion Canvas 22 Plus, and I own this about 2021. It's a nice 22-inch screen. I don't remember much about the pen or the initial activation force, because I didn't used to like think about that kind of thing, I guess, as much. I remember having this, and it just was more of just a pain to get set up, and like I had to buy this monitor arm to mount to my desk for it, and like it's a big heavy screen tablet that takes up a lot of space. That's just something you got to keep in mind with any kind of large screen tablet. You got to have the space, and you got to like mount it, and it's going to get in the way. I think it was pretty decent as a tablet, but it was mainly a pain to have kind of set up, so I got rid of it after a while. I just sold it. But this is probably like a, I would go B. And now what we have left are the Wacoms. This is the Intuos Pro Medium. I own all three of these tablets I currently have in my possession, and I've used them recently. These are the 2017 Intuos Pros, and this is the 2016 Cintiq Pro 16. Intuos Pro is like the industry standard for non-screen, and Cintiq Pro is the industry standard for screen. And it's the industry standard for a reason. It's just the most precise kind of thing. So this is the Intuos Pro Large, by the way, of the same generation. I got both these on eBay for like around $100 each, and the only reason that I upgraded from the medium to the large is because I use a 32-inch monitor now with these, and when your tablet's a little smaller and your screen is bigger, a small movement with your arm, with your pen, is going to translate to a larger movement on the screen, so it becomes harder to control. The bigger the difference, the discrepancy between the screen and the tablet surface area is, it's harder to control. So these are both great. I just upgraded to the large, and now I have a lot more space and real estate to work with, and it feels more natural and controlled with my 32-inch monitor, and it feels great. Like, this is my alternative secondary to my iPad. If I want to focus a little more on like ergonomics, like this is much more ergonomic. Lastly, I also have this Cintiq Pro 16 from 2016. I don't really pay like full price for any of these, because I go on eBay and find like a good deal, because I saw some people still selling these. This is like a 10-year-old model, and people were still selling them for like $900, $1,000, and that really goes to show you how much Wacoms just retain their value over time. Like if you're buying a tablet, you ideally want to have something that's going to retain its value over time, and Wacom just does that. Like if you buy a Cintiq, chances are in several years you can still get a good amount of money for it if you sell it or get rid of it. It feels really good and precise, and obviously the screen is good. This is 4K, but one of the kind of issues with this model is that the compatibility is a little weird, where it's like if you're on Windows, you might not be able to actually get 4K out of this, even though it's a 4K display, because it's like kind of this pseudo exclusivity to Mac, where it's like you could just plug it into a Mac, which I have since gotten a Mac for other reasons, but like if you can just plug this in through USB-C, you can get 4K, like, and it's kind of a one cable solution, except for the power cable has to go to the wall. If you're on Windows, you have to use this like Wacom link adapter, and it comes out with USB-A and a mini display port, and you have to, who has mini display port, you have to use a converter from mini DP to just regular display port. And the problem with that is that the Wacom Link doesn't like to output 4K. It's like it can work sometimes, but most of the time not. So if you're on a standard Windows machine, you're basically getting robbed of the capability of 4K for no reason. It's still a really good tablet. I just think it can still be improved upon, because like this is a 10-year-old model at this point. I think something that should be more common and probably will be more common in the coming years with tablets is to have a higher refresh rate, so it just feels faster and more responsive, more kind of immediate feedback to what you're drawing. Cintiq Pro goes in A, iPad Pro goes in S, Intuos Pro goes in S. Also, because another reason why Intuos is great is that it's so simple. They're so easy to find. You don't have to worry about as much stuff breaking or going wrong. It's just one USB cable. Screen tablets will be like a mess of cables, right? And they also take up more space, and like you have to have it on a stand and it gets in the way of your desk. But like these just lie flat on your desk. You can put stuff on top of them. There's no screen to worry about, and it just works. And like people use Intuoses that are like 20 plus years old, whereas screen tablets do not age. That screen tablets age like milk, because whatever the most current technology is, anything less than that is going to be so obsolete that it's like nobody wants them and they're just trying to get rid of them. Like the Cintiq 21UX, nobody wants to use that anymore. It's not even 16:9. Screen tablet technology just gets obsolete way faster, whereas some people still use like 20-year-old Intuoses and things like that. Some tablet companies have better or worse driver experiences than others, like dysfunctional drivers, or like drivers you always have to re-download or restart, and like Wacom has its fair share of those. I've had issues with Wacoms, I've had issues with like every tablet. Even the iPad, I've had like weird pen issues with my iPads before. It can be really annoying, but thankfully, in my experience, it's gotten a little better with time, that like the Wacom drivers are a little more reliable, maybe for me, than they used to be. Like my Intuos or something might not want to work when I'm just turning my computer on or something. I just have to hit the button of restart driver. You have to go in and just restart the driver and then it works. But yeah, like driver issues are definitely the most annoying issue that you'll run into with pretty much any tablet, and depending on the company, it can be like a nightmare trying to get it to just work. If you're shopping for a tablet, it depends on what you want, but like I say, go with used Wacoms. Maybe XP Pen and Huion have some good options. Like I haven't tried the ones in recent kind of years. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.